In this video, we'll be going over how to create your own hydroponic vessel used for the Cracky method. This method was patented by Professor Cracky at UH-Hilo, and it's great for beginners since it's relatively low cost and low maintenance. Here's an example of this method in practice. The main components of the system are a container with a lid, water, nutrient solution, a growing medium, and something similar to a net pot. The reason the system works is because the roots of the seedling touch the surface of the nutrient-rich water, and as the plant grows, the water level decreases. In this air gap, some of the roots which are taking in nutrients from the water will become air roots and absorb oxygen from inside the container. This is why there is no need for pumps or wicks in this system. If you use a gallon-sized vessel to grow one head of lettuce, you do not have to refill the vessel with more nutrient solution. If you use smaller vessels, you may need to add more solution as the plant grows, and keep an eye on the water level. This system is great for leafy greens, which include lettuces and herbs like basil. The first step to creating your own hydroponic vessel is to get a container that's at least 1.5 liters large and once held food, like this soda bottle. This is to ensure that your container is food safe and hasn't contained any harsh chemicals. To create your Cracky hydroponic vessel, you will need a power drill, a 2-inch hole saw, spray paint in white and black, spray paint can grip, which is optional, masking tape, and a drop cloth or newspaper.
To use the tools, you will also need proper personal protective equipment or PPE. According to the Boy Scouts of America, if you're under the age of 16, you must have adult supervision to use power tools. For this tutorial, you will need safety goggles or glasses, a hair tie if you have long hair, nitrile gloves, and closed-toe shoes. Now that you have all your materials, I'll be teaching you how to make a vessel for your own Cracky hydroponic system using household materials. For our demonstration, we'll be using a 2-liter juice bottle. Once you have selected your vessel, you will need to rinse it out to remove any food residue. If there was oily food in that vessel, wash it with warm soapy water and rinse well. Some plants may not react well to the residual soap or other substances in the vessel and may not grow properly. After you've rinsed out your vessel, remove any labels or tags. Next, we'll be cutting a hole in the vessel with the hole saw. As stated, this is just one way to create the hole for the net pot. Regardless of what method you use, hole saw, utility knife, or scissors, be sure to don proper PPE. Before anything, put on your safety glasses or goggles. Next, get the hole saw with a pilot bit and insert it into the power drill. Secure the bit, then set the rotation of the drill to reverse. Take off the cap of the bottle, insert the middle bit into the hole, and keep the bit pointed vertically down. Apply some downward pressure to the drill, but not too much. The thing that is cutting the hole is the heat made by the friction of the saw. Keep holding the trigger until a hole is made. If a small part of the top is still connected to the bottle, snip off the remaining portion with scissors. If the edges are rough and sharp, you can use sandpaper to smooth them out. Next, we will add a vertical stripe of tape to the side of the bottle, which will create a window after the vessel has been painted. This window will allow you to see the water level inside of your vessel, making it easier to tell when you need to refill it. When placing the tape onto the bottle, make sure to put the tape across the side with tick marks, sides that are straight, and to place the tape where you can see all parts from top to bottom. The next step is to cover a vessel to block any outside light to prevent any algae growth. There are many ways to do this, but for this video, we'll be spray painting our vessel. Other options you may consider is to wrap your vessel with aluminum foil, paper, or anything else that can block out light. Before we do any spray painting, we need to clean the outside of our vessel of any oil collected from our hands using soap and water or alcohol. This procedure will help the paint stick to your vessel better. Gloves are recommended but optional for this step. Now we can begin spray painting. First, you will want to find a spot in a well-ventilated area, preferably outdoors. Lay down your drop cloth or newspaper, then set some heavy weights on the corners to prevent the mat or newspapers from flying away. Once your spray paint station has been set, wear your PPE and begin spray painting. Gloves are recommended but optional for painting. However, you must wear your safety glasses at all times while painting to prevent any eye injuries. The first coating of black paint will block out the light from the vessel to prevent algae growth. The second coating of paint will be a layer to reflect light so that the solution in the container doesn't get too hot if the vessel is placed in the sun. While spray painting, keep the nozzle about 10 to 16 inches away from the vessel. This will ensure that the coat will be thin and large circular blotches which create a crying texture are avoided. An all-around smooth vessel is ideal. Always keep your head at a higher level from the spray can, and keep your hand rigid with minimal wrist movement. Hold down the nozzle to spray and create a stroke until the end of the bottle. Keep doing this all over until the vessel is covered with one layer of black paint. The first layer of paint does not need to be perfect, but just enough to cover the bottle. For the best results, leave the vessel to dry for at least 30 minutes. Once that 30 minutes is up, the paint should be dry enough where you can pick it up. While picking it up, you can see areas on the inside where light is peering into the bottle. Apply another layer of paint on the areas that need it. Once it dries, you can repeat the painting process with white paint. Once that second layer of paint dries, you can now move on to decorating.
Now that your vessel is complete, you can now customize your vessel in any way that you want. You could paint a fun design or even add stickers. Here are some example vessels created by Washington Middle School students. The next step is to put the system together. To do this, you will need the vessel you just created, net pots, rock wool, growing solution, and a seedling. Net pots are small slotted pots with holes in their sides and bottoms. They come in many shapes and sizes but are generally round or square. In today's video, we're using 2-inch net pots. Net pots secure plants and allow water and nutrients to flow freely to and from the root system. Some alternative examples of net pots are K-cups with slits, plastic cups, pool noodles, or you can even design and 3D print your own.
Now that our vessel has been prepared and is ready to go, we can start assembling the system. First, we'll make the nutrient solution. The solution we will be making will use General Hydroponics Maxi Grow Nutrient Powder. To make the solution, we use 1 teaspoon of the powder per 1 gallon of water. Next, we'll insert our net pot into the vessel that you created. From the top of the net pot, measure 1 3/4 inches down and draw a horizontal line. This will be the fill line you will pour the solution up to. And finally, we can add the seedling with the rock wool. After our system has been completely assembled, we can now place it in a well-lit area where the system can be easily observed. Our recommendation is to locate your system in an area with lots of natural lighting or anywhere indoors with grow lights.
Using this video as a guideline, you can use your imagination to use almost anything for your cracky hydroponic system. There isn't a strict formula on these vessels, and as you can see, there are thriving systems that use unconventional items like test tubes. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to share your systems with STEM Free Academy.